All right, so let's dive into side hustles. And it looks like this is something you're really interested in. We're taking a deep dive today into the world of the side hustle. That's a subreddit where people are basically swapping ideas, sharing their wins, and yeah, warning each other about all the scams out there. It's kind of like a crowdsourced guide to making some extra cash.
Yeah, it really is. It's like having a finger on the pulse of what's actually working right now to make money. We're not just seeing these individual ideas, but you can really get a sense of what the trends are and the overall energy around this whole side hustle thing.
Exactly. And speaking of what's hot right now, focus groups seem to be having a moment. There's this post where someone's saying they're making like $1,000-$2,000 a month just from sharing their opinions. They even posted these screenshots of their earnings.
Wow. Yeah, I can see why that's catching people's attention. I mean, who wouldn't want to get paid for their thoughts? But, this actually ties into a bigger theme we're seeing throughout the subreddit, this desire for ways to monetize their experiences.
Right. It makes sense. It's not just trading time for money anymore. It's about how can I take what I already know and what I enjoy and use that to make some extra cash.
Precisely. But while some of these ideas definitely seem promising, it's important to remember that, not every side hustle is created equal. There's actually a really helpful post in our sources called How to Spot Scam Side Hustles Online.
Oh, yeah. That one was eye-opening. It's a good reminder that in the middle of all this excitement, there are people out there looking to take advantage.
Always.
This post lays out all the red flags to look out for, like promises of easy money or pressure to join something quickly.
It really emphasizes the importance of critical thinking, especially online,
Do your research. Protect yourself.
Yeah.
But let's say you've got your scam detector turned on and you're ready to explore some ideas that are, I don't know, a little more creative than the usual drive for a rideshare app suggestions. Well, the side hustle definitely doesn't disappoint.
It really doesn't. And what I think is so fascinating is the sheer variety. We're seeing people combine their passions and skills in really unique ways.
Yeah. For example, there's someone who is creating custom desk setups. So they love 3D printing. They love design. They love being organized. And they're combining all of that to offer these personalized workspaces. They're even doing consultations over Zoom to help clients design like the perfect setup.
It's brilliant. It's like they're tapping into this niche market. With remote work becoming so common now, people are investing in their home offices. And this person, they saw an opportunity to meet that need with this like personalized touch.
Yeah. Then there's someone else with this entrepreneurial spirit. They're building a SaaS startup marketplace. Now, for those who might not be familiar, SaaS stands for software as a service. Right. Essentially, it's software that's delivered online, usually with a subscription.
Exactly. Think of things like Spotify or Netflix. Those are examples of SaaS.
Right. And so this person is creating this platform to connect buyers and sellers of these types of startups. They recognize how valuable the digital economy is becoming. It's amazing.
It's like they're building this whole ecosystem.
Yeah. And speaking of digital trends, someone else is putting together a TikTok influencer database. They're using data analysis skills to compile all this information about influencers, which could be so valuable for marketers who are trying to navigate that world.
That is such a good idea. It highlights how important it is to stay ahead of the curve. TikTok's popularity exploded. Right. And this person saw a need for organized information in this rapidly evolving space. It's about spotting opportunity, where other people might just see chaos.
It's all about finding that niche.
Yeah.
Now, for something a little more festive, there's a post about a personalized Christmas game. Someone developed this customizable game called Escape the Punch, where players are trying to dodge these snowballs that are being thrown by the Grinch. They're marketing it as a unique gift idea, perfect for the holiday season.
That's so smart. Tapping into that seasonal demand. We see that a lot with side hustles, especially the ones that involve physical products or event-based services. Timing can be everything.
Now, I know what you're thinking. Okay, these ideas all sound great, but can you actually make money doing any of this? That's the question on everyone's mind, right?
Absolutely. And luckily, Art the Side Hustle gives us some answers. There are posts in here with actual proof of earnings, not just vague promises.
Right, like this one Amazon reseller who claims to have made $8,593 in just 7 weeks. They shared their whole strategy, which they call piggybacking. And it involves finding products on Amazon that are already selling really well, like over 5,000 units per day. And then...
Okay, but before you go source all these products, there's one really crucial detail they emphasize. If you're in the US and you're selling on Amazon, you need to set up an LLC.
Oh yeah, the legal stuff. An LLC, or limited liability company, can help protect your personal assets. If something goes wrong with your business, always important to make sure you're operating legally and responsibly.
Yeah, exactly. But anyway, back to the Amazon reseller. Their whole strategy highlights a key trend in e-commerce, which is you're not reinventing the wheel. You're finding a product that's already proven to sell.
Yeah.
And capitalizing on that existing market.
So it's not just about a brand new idea. It's about seeing opportunity that's already there. Speaking of proof of earnings, remember that focus group enthusiast making $2,000 a month? They shared actual payment screenshots. They even said that. Focus groups are way better than those online survey sites, which can feel like a total waste of time.
It's funny. It's like they're positioning focus groups as this more engaging alternative to online surveys. It suggests that people are looking for side hustles that offer not just money, but also some intellectual stimulation, like they're actually contributing something valuable.
Yeah. And then there's this other post about hands-off sales. That really made me curious. Apparently someone's partner made over $5,000 in just 10 days using this method. They even included a picture of a screen displaying their earnings.
Wow. The mystery is definitely working. They don't say exactly what this method is, but they do say it could be a way to make passive income. Definitely something we should explore further.
Yeah, definitely. All right, before we get too carried away, dreaming about passive income, let's remember that post about spotting scam side hustles.
Right. It's so easy to get caught up in the excitement, but you got to stay vigilant. Remember those red flags: unrealistic earnings, pressure to join, vague descriptions of what you'd actually be doing.
Yeah. And it's not just external scams to worry about. There's a post in the subreddit about a social media boosting service that was flagged as spam. So even within the community, you got to be careful.
Absolutely. Be a discerning consumer of information, even in places that are supposed to be helpful and supportive. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Do your research. Trust your gut.
So, we've seen some really inspiring ideas. We've been reminded to stay vigilant. And we've seen some hints that there's some real earning potential out there. What else can we learn from these posts? Are there any broader trends or takeaways that stand out to you?
Definitely. If we zoom out and look at the bigger picture, I think a few key themes emerge that I think are particularly relevant to you.
Oh, let's hear it.
Well, first, we're seeing this clear rise of digital products and services, the SaaS startup marketplace, the TikTok influencer database, even all those ebooks being sold on Etsy. All of that points to the growing potential of this digital economy.
Yeah, it's like the internet has opened up all these doors to entrepreneurship. You're not limited by location anymore or needing tons of money to start.
Exactly. It's so much easier for people to get started now. Another trend I'm noticing is the importance of having some niche expertise and finding like a unique angle, like those custom desk setups or the Christmas-themed game. Those are great examples of how people are taking specific skills and turning them into something they can sell.
Yeah, it's inspiring, right? It reminds you that. You don't have to be like a tech genius.
Yeah.
Or a marketing guru to find success. Sometimes the most unexpected skills or hobbies can be monetized if you find the right audience.
Absolutely. And speaking of finding the right audience, that ties into another key takeaway. Before you jump into any side hustle, you got to understand your target market. Who are you selling to? What are their needs?
Yeah, you've got to, it's not just about having a cool idea. It's about making sure people actually want it.
Exactly.
And that goes back to that post about avoiding scams.
Yeah.
Research can help you figure out if an opportunity is legit.
Absolutely. Research is key. And finally, the Side Hustle really highlights the value of community and connection. I mean, the subreddit itself is a testament to that. People are sharing ideas, getting feedback, supporting each other.
Yeah. It's like this giant virtual mastermind group. Sometimes just knowing that you're not the only one struggling can make a huge difference.
For sure. That sense of community, it can give you motivation. It can help you stay accountable, which is so important when you're working by yourself.
Definitely.
All of these positive trends are exciting, but we can't ignore the challenges either.
Right. Remember that post about the guy who spent months building a website and learning how to code, but only made like $160?
Yeah.
It's a good reminder that not every side hustle is going to make you rich quickly.
Yeah. It's so important to remember that. It's easy to get caught up in all the stories of people making tons of money. But there will be setbacks. You're going to have times where you wonder if it's all worth it.
It's all about managing expectations and remembering that even the times you fail can teach you something valuable.
Exactly. You have to have a growth mindset. Each challenge is an opportunity to learn and do things better next time.
Speaking of learning, what stood out to you about how people are learning new skills
Yeah.
and the resources they're using?
Well, It's interesting. There are posts where people are sharing tips on using AI tools for things like generating content and even coming up with side hustle ideas themselves. The tools available are constantly evolving.
That's what's so exciting about how technology is changing entrepreneurship. It's not just about having an idea, it's about knowing how to use the tools available to actually make that idea a reality. Exactly. But then again, there are those cautionary tales, like that post,
Yeah.
where someone warns against relying too much on AI-generated content because it lacks that human touch and authenticity.
It just goes to show that you need to find a balance. Technology can be a powerful tool, but it shouldn't replace your own creativity and critical thinking.
Right. It's like AI can be a great assistant, but you're still the CEO.
Exactly. So I think The Side Hustle paints this really dynamic picture of what the side hustle landscape looks like. It's full of potential, but you need to have a savvy approach.
Yeah. It's not about chasing trends. It's about understanding them and finding what works best for you. So what does this all mean for you, the listener? How can you apply all of this to your own side hustle journey?
That's the million-dollar question. And I think The Side Hustle gives us some clues. First, be curious, be open-minded, explore all your options, even the ones that seem unconventional. Don't limit yourself.
Yeah. Give yourself permission to think outside the box.
Yeah.
There's so many ways to make money, especially in the digital age. And once you have an idea, don't forget to do your research. Understand the market, the competition, and all the legal stuff.
Right. Due diligence is key. Don't just jump into something without thinking it through. And that's where the community aspect can really help. The side hustle can be a great resource for getting feedback, asking questions, learning from what other people have gone through.
Yeah, it's like having this network of mentors and peers right there at your fingertips.
Exactly. So, as we wrap things up here, what are some of the big takeaways from our deep dive into The Side Hustle?
Well, I think the first thing is the side hustle landscape is always changing. What's popular today might be old news tomorrow. So you have to stay curious, adapt to new trends, and be willing to try new things.
I completely agree. Being flexible and willing to learn is so important. Another big takeaway is that to be successful with a side hustle, you need to be creative, you need to think critically, and you need to keep going even when it gets tough.
Those are great points. And I think it's also important to remember that you're not alone in this. There are so many people out there who are also trying to build a side hustle, and they're all going through similar challenges and celebrating similar victories. So connect with other people, learn from them, support each other.
Absolutely. Now, as you continue exploring The Side Hustle and other resources out there, we want to leave you with one final thought. Given how quickly technology is advancing, what new side hustles do you think might emerge in the future?
Ooh, that's a good one. It's like a challenge to our listeners to not just take in information, but to actually think ahead and try to spot new opportunities.
Exactly. What skills will be in high demand? What problems will need to be solved? If you can stay ahead of the curve, you can create your own success story. Maybe you'll even be the one posting about your journey on Side Hustle someday.
That's a wrap on our deep dive into the world of the side hustle. Hopefully you got some valuable insights, some inspiration, and maybe even a few new side hustle ideas to consider. Remember, the most important thing for any side hustle is you, your passion, your drive, and your willingness to learn and grow. So get out there, explore, experiment. And who knows, maybe you'll discover your own path to financial freedom and fulfillment. Happy hustling.